What's up, y'all? Figured I'd start a little early since I'm on the bike anyway.
Right on!
What up, Wolf? Yeah, this is gonna be real painful. Like, I don't want to. I don't even want to think about how painful it's gonna be. I mean, anytime you go up the grade, it's horrible, and Jarvis Island is not an easy punch by any stretch of the imagination. And the bypass KOM, it's also a really difficult attack point. We just did it in Z Racing, is that 2 weeks ago? What up, Adam? How's the cough? Is it getting a little bit better yet?
Right on!
Trying to find... I took a picture of my handlebar setup to make sure I was always on the same distance. I can't find it. Doesn't help that it's on my old phone where the screen's broken. Listen, oh, here it is. Right before I think that's what it is. Oops, I hit the chat. One moment. Andre, hello. Silver, hello. Oh boy. Yeah, the feathers is unclear to me. What up, Cal Sherpa? Bon. So in my video, the way I was seeing it, and I think it's wrong, I was counting the grade as 2 climbs because there's a middle portion. So I was thinking that you just get a new power-up right before the grade. But the more I thought about it, the grade is 1 climb. So I'm thinking that once you crest over the Jarvis Island climb and you go down, there's another banner. I think that's where you get another feather. That's what I'm thinking. Handlebar model. I think that was... Did I say it was right before I? Yeah. So it has not moved. That's good. I wish that... I love Zwift Insider, and I basically never have any complaints about his content, and I'm sure he's just going off of what Zwift provided him. I wish they would have said the segments that you get the feathers at. You think it is before Braun? What's up, Browsing and Brent? I'm nervous today, guys.
Right on!
I was very close to not riding in prime time because of how crazy these races have been. It's... Yeah, ZHQ does sometimes present the wrong information. Is there anything in the... Checking companion app? I don't think it says anything. No. It just says, let's see here, stage 5. Nothing. I'm going to try the power-up on Jarvis Island anyway. And then then all of you will know whether or not you get your power-up.
Right on.
Hello, Gerben. Are you racing this one today? I did wear the Lucky Bibs shorts. I have to do it. I need all the luck I can get. I need all of the luck I can get. I'm gonna use the washroom one last time, and then we'll be ready.
Right on. Right on.
Wow. This'll be fun. This'll be fun.
Right on.
We got a bunch of snow in Chicago after an inch and a half of rain. So that was fun to deal with this morning. What up, Curtis? What up, Miguel?
Right on.
Yeah, this is the one that ends on the gray, JP. I can feel the snow coming in. What up, Cav? I'm so... I mean, how do you prepare for something like this? I almost treat this like a mass start race, given how fast the front is. It races like a mass start race, to be perfectly honest. The snow was weird. It was so icy at the bottom because of all that rain we got. But I appreciate all of you joining in. I'm going to try and hang with the front as long as possible, even if that means blowing up. That's just the way I like to race prime time. 196 people, we're going to have up to 200, which ensures that even if we get dropped, we're going to have hard groups to ride with. That's all I gotta say. Not the final of Zwift games, but it has the feel of a finale. Forgot to start recording. There we go. Thank you, everyone. I feel like I need the luck today. I did go with the Envy wheels instead of the DT Swiss because I believe they're a little bit better in climbing. Ah, so the other ones don't even count for GC. I did not know that. Is our friend attacking? Things are nice and bunched. Looks like it's slowing at the front. Thanks, Miguel. Now we gotta stay on the pedals. Very stretched. This is exactly what makes prime time so brutal in advance. It's just always stretching. Until the groups split. It does make you faster, but in all honesty, I don't really ride for prime time results. Or, excuse me, for GC results. But if you ever want GC, this is the best category to be in. For the best race. Take recoveries while you can. You need to move up. Not yet. A little bit. So I'll use my feather here. We'll see if we get another. That way we all know. Holy cow, my game was freaking out there. Hey, you Nomad. Alright, let's see. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, there's one more banner. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, dude, who needs feathers? Thanks, Sharon. Alright. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your arms, cross your legs. Let's hope for a feather. Let's go. Let's go. So let's stay awake. We know how this group is on the flats. Normally I would be in the way back. But a 3-minute recovery, I feel people will get antsy. Honestly, I might need to use it on this espresso. A little bit of stretching. Exactly, yes. Press G. Move off the front. Mama! I have the window open. Type 1. And it's like 20 degrees outside. So that's been helping. Snow is coming in the room. Last time I used my feather on the first switchback, I am going to wait and use it on the second switchback. Because that's the second switchback into the bridge is where we got dropped last time. Alright. Come on. I am going to give it my all to stay with the front here. We die, we die. There's someone up here. Thanks, everyone. There's a big group. 5 seconds behind. I don't have the energy to push. I wish we had a little bit more to catch that group ahead. We were so close to being in that strong second group. Yeah, Julius, that's the idea. They'll catch us probably as we hit the wooden bridge. That was a brutal effort. Oh, I don't have a gel. I took one before, but I have a carb mix in my bottle. 90 grams. So we should be okay on fueling. These guys are gonna come in hot. Here they are. True hope. Now we just recovered. Seeing that second group just ahead is such a cheese. Such a tease. Well, 30 minutes in your races, you can expect your first 30 minutes to just be absolute suffering. I'll be interested to see how the rest of this goes. Yeah, we basically have a 300 average with 2 major descents. Almost 3. Oh, Mark, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. We have 3 little kicks here. Let's make sure to focus. Let's make sure to focus. The size of this bunch, and this is probably comparable to riding at or near the front group of a typical advanced race. Especially during the summer. This is pretty close to what you get during the summer as far as group sizes. And when the group's smaller like this, you must be tactically sound. Right near the back. Watch for moves. You guys can bring up whoever you'd like. All I want to try to do is slowly get better. Day by day, week by week. Chop wood, baby. This group is still pushing hard. Over these climbs, we are getting well over 5 watts a kilogram. That's a good point, Gerben. I never did summer advanced riding. I didn't get into advanced until the fall. Oh, I'm excited for Sisu Pinky. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right on.
Now we go into the sprint. I wonder if the feather will be this one or the next one. Good call, Nomad. Alright, feather here. My legs are a bit iffy. I've been trying to stand more today. I'm worried that I burned a few matches I'm not used to. Julius, right? Even with my feather on the bypass, those guys were just so. It's pretty impressive. I'll be interested to see how that bypass segment compares to Zwift. What series was that? The last series before Zwift Games, was it? Ocean Lava Cliffside Loop? Yeah, heart rate is actually coming down today, which is nice. My training this past week wasn't great either. Suppose we still did the race on Monday and the team time trial on Thursday. But I missed most of my exert workouts. The tropical snow in Chicago, yeah. I could not believe it this morning when I went to sleep and it was just, had been downpouring for 3-4 hours. We got over 1.5 inches of rain. I opened the door this morning to let Brisket out. 2-3 inches of snow on the ground. Nothing made sense. Yeah, we'll see how the grade goes. I am. We'll see. Hopefully we get into a nice rhythm and we grind. When we did this for Flamme Rouge, both Adam and I, we had really good times up the grade. I would like to do something similar. Yeah, Scott, if you're in the East Coast, you guys get all the weather a day later than us. It's quite funny how that works out. Jordan. You live in Watopia, bro? Tornado watch. Oh, man. We had really bad tornadoes in the Chicago area. 2 towns got hit really quite bad. I think Kankakee was one. I believe there was another. The fact that you're having tornadoes like this in early March, scary. Couple little punches here. We'll see how the group takes them. Not too shabby. Time to focus, baby. Time to focus. Vaporflies, aren't those running shoes? Or am I wrong? Yeah, we just gotta slowly work our way to the edge and stay there. Here's Bradley. I like that. Let's finish this on a high note, shall we? Come on. That's what it's all about. No matter what happens, it's been a great series. Appreciate all of y'all for following along. And let's empty the frickin' tank, baby! Woo! Come on. This guy's getting feathers all the way up. Okay. Now I see it, Nomad. Stupid. That is so stupid. We emptied it. We emptied it. We emptied it. Wow. Wow. Top 100. That means in our group, I think we finished basically in front of the group that we were in, and we caught people. It upsets me a little bit because it really solidifies if we were able to get into that second group, we probably could have gotten top 80 maybe. But no, that was a good climb. That's a really good climb. Well, tactically we learned a lot. We learned, one, definitely use your feather on Jarvis Island. Two, you want to hit the second bypass basically as hard as you can and try to make it into their earliest group ahead as possible. And three, use those frickin' feathers. Luckily I saw Dale's message, at least when I got to the second part. Why am I on the steel frame? I'm gonna turn these feathers on quick. What is going on? Why can't I switch to my K-Dex? Is it because, oh, it's probably because I'm in the... Oh. Well, Jordan, so the way that this worked out, on Jarvis, you don't get a feather at the top of the climb, but you get it on the sprint leaving. So if you use the feather on the Jarvis climb, you'll go into the Dirty Suppressa bypass section with a feather. And then we discovered you get another feather in that sandy sprint. Just a second, I don't want to catch a cold. Yeah, let's check some of those power numbers. Our 20-minute was pretty high. Our 20 was 4.3. And then use the feathers. Yeah, every single banner in the grade looks like it offers a feather. So just use it every single time. And make sure you carry a feather to that last switchback. That was huge. We caught 5 or 6 riders on that punch. Let's see this. I mean, it's just that punch. We hit almost 700 watts, and it just was not enough. And make sure that you hold your power up the bypass itself on the false flat. It's going to kill, but you got to do it. And then from the grade onwards, you have the Titans Grove climb, which is pretty difficult. Nothing crazy though. These are the 3 rollers. Actually, I think this is the 3 rollers, and then the 2 sprint segments. And you just save. Going into the grade, we punched hard. That was cool, because it put us right in the front. Make sure you do that as you go into the grade. Just a micro effort, and you just grind. I gave another micro effort onto the flat to draft. I kept on the pedals on the flat section between the grade. We caught 6 riders doing that. And and I paced that really well so we could have a nice strong punch at the end. We got about an hour. Was that really an hour race? So we had almost an hour PB and a 10-minute PB. That's how you know you had a good ride. I appreciate all you watching, though. I wish I would have been looking at everyone's comments a bit more. We're actually climbing, browsing. Chris, Type 1, Jay, Jordan, Mark, Bon, Allman, Scott, Gerben, Brent, Target, Nomad, Adam, England. Damn, we had a crew today. We had a crew. Oh, look at that. There's Tina. Cheers, browsing. Chris, really? Dude, I punched hard right at the end there. The grade is brutal, but like Adam said, the bypass KOM might be the hardest part. Punching hard on Jarvis. Honestly, I think it could. Now, it is only about a 2-minute effort, so I think most climbers probably could hang on to that. I think if you're going to drop any climbers, probably more likely that it happens on the bypass. Because if you just, well, I don't know. It's tough. I think it's possible, but I don't know. I think most climbers will be able to hang on, especially in the low cats. Jay, I think for everyone, the tactics are pretty close to the same. You want to be really defensive essentially the whole race. I mean, if you're a pure sprinter, it's about, look at it this way, if you're a pure sprinter or a puncher, your goal is to try to make it to the final climb with the group. And even if you're a climber, and then where the tactics really shift is that final climb. I think if you're a sprinter or puncher, you're just getting to that limit and just holding it as long as possible. But if you're a climber, what you probably want to do is take the first part pretty easy, and then when you get to the switchbacks, that's when you really turn it up. Yeah, Adam, you're probably right. The suppressa could be a good spot. The thing is, if you're a climber and you just ride that tactically with that little downhill on the cobbles, that really helps to gain momentum for the second part. And then the second portion of this course, just on the flats, I don't think any of those rollers are enough to drop any climbers. What do I still have to do for my exert workout? Oh, it auto paused. Oh well. That's stupid. Adam, are you gonna try and do this later in the week? Or how are you feeling? Thanks, Nick. Nick, did you get promoted when you gained those How many points did you gain? 60 or something when you came in first? Well, hopefully, if I remember correctly, Adam, last year they did makeup weeks for Zwift games. Yeah, so because we have to do stage 1 as well. So maybe we try and break it up and we do stage 1 first, and then this Queen stage later. How do you pronounce your name, my friend? Diaz? Diogo Diaz? I apologize if I'm butchering your your YouTube handle, but I appreciate the love for the ride. Don't be afraid, just, race loose. Go in, just wanting to have fun. Going into this, I knew there was basically no way I was gonna stay with the front. But if you don't ever do the events, you don't get better. And honestly, in the last, I'm just thinking back to Zwift games last year. Nobody really remembers what you do anyway, so even if it doesn't go well, so be it. Wow, that'll be a fun Cat B race. I think you'll be able to take the victory again, especially since you've been doing such long rides. This long course will suit you. And I think the Flamme Rouge races that we've been doing really help to prep for this. The group that we were in, I think a lot of them, as we hit the grade, I saw them all splitting, and we were able to stick with those front riders. And a lot of that has to do with being used to giving those punchy efforts and then having the ability to hang on, recover, and then just do it over and over again. I think Flamme Rouge was huge for that. Sorry if you couldn't hear me very well. I didn't realize my mic moved away. Oh, I can stop recording. Portuguese names are hard. I work with 2 people that are from Brazil, and every time they speak Portuguese to each other, just have no idea what they're saying. I wonder if we know anybody that is grinding some drops right now. I want to go see. I'm trying to think too if the Zwift Games Queen stage last year was harder than this year. I think the one last year was actually extremely similar to this, now that I think about it. Last year, you hit Jarvis, you also went up the epic KOM bypass, but instead of going left, you took a right into the jungle, and then you came up the climb that we're on, the Mayan climb, and then you went up the grade, and then you went down counterclockwise the epic KOM, you took a left at the bypass, and then you ended on top of the reverse KOM. Do you guys remember that? Last year was brutal, now that I'm thinking about it. Last year was actually brutal. This was yeah, it was twice. Okay, this was oh man, it was crazy. People must have been complaining or something. they didn't want to. Dude, I can only imagine you're like just getting into Zwift You're like, oh yeah, this is what games is. This is fun. I think the first stage was in McCurry Islands. It was that short, flat one with the kick at the end. There was another one in London going up Box Hill. Oh, I remember the other ones. There had to have been one in Scotland. Durban, yeah. Dude. I raced that Queen stage twice, and the second time I did it, I injured my knee doing it because I was standing almost the whole time going up the Epic KOM. Yeah, the Queen stage 2024. I actually don't know if I did the 2024 Zwift Games Queen stage. Yeah, I had to have. That's too funny. The turnout for the Zwift Games was awesome, though. I've never seen this road about the same as what's the other big Zwift group ride event? Tour de Zwift. This road, like Tour de Zwift. I wish that... Did they have Zwift games last year that weren't ranked? And they were just group rides? It would be really... It's getting to the point... Maybe this is the wrong way to go about racing, but... Like, during the week, I have 30 minutes, and I want to be able to give a really hard effort. But I don't want to have, like, an all-out race that I need to commit to and lose racing score. Maybe that's the wrong way to go about it. Maybe I should just do this anyway. Yeah, I think you're right, Adam. I think you're right. Maybe I just need to look into doing just more group events. Because I'm so sick of doing exert workouts. I'm starting to lose motivation on exert. I need to get back into it. Magic Buckets was really nice for a while. But just these long 3-hour Zone 2 rides leave something to be desired. Maybe the outdoor riding will help with that. And putting things in perspective, the Zwift season started in October, roughly. And it's been a grind since then. That's a good point, Julius. The big spin events will be fun. Are you going over the volcano now, Nick? I agree. Riding with people is way more fun than training alone. It really is. That's why I like the RTB group rides. I know, Adam, but I also really like really long rides, too. I just starting to feel a little burnt out on riding, I guess, in all honesty. It's hard to maintain that motivation for so long. Yeah, I think more RTB rides will be fun, and that'll be a nice prep for Sisu Pinky. I'm not sure what else we would have until then, because Pinky's what, end of April, early May? The long rides are good. The team time trials, that has been a lot of fun. That has been keeping me motivated. I was just more thinking, even pro cyclists, they have that off season where they don't ride as hard, and I suppose that's the summer for us. We're almost nearing that point. I'm also considering maybe trying coaching sessions Those are just quite expensive. I think that could be fun though. Jay, that's smart to watch some movies. I'll have to check to see if I'm at fixed or flex. I'll have to look. I do think that there would be something to having an actual coach. And if you're the type of person that likes having that interaction with people and talking about your training, not just seeing the power that you need to hit, I think there's something lost in exert. Yes, you can get stronger, but it almost makes me think if you have a coach and you're able to talk about the type of rider you are, what you're trying to achieve long term, if you can be more efficient with your time if you have an actual coach. I don't know. I think it'd be a fun experiment. We'll see, Adam. I think for me it's mostly just the training that's losing the... It's that always... Because when you go through exert, you have that strict plan, and you're like, okay, I need to make 2 hours or an hour and a half to do this training, and it's just such a grind. It's more when you're in that routine of training really hard, being really regimented, and then you step out for a bit, it's sometimes harder to step back in. That's how I feel. And I'm just having a couple of weeks span where I'm struggling to get back into that rhythm, essentially. I'm still riding a lot, but I'm not hitting green dots on all of my training, and I'm recalculating everything more than usual. I might have to hit up Lot Life. I talked to him a little bit. I've watched a lot of his content. He's actually one of the reasons I've tried switching up my content a bit to be more story driven. Seems like a really cool guy. He was actually putting on a cycling series, or like an in-person event in January in France. And it seems like he's getting really good feedback from being a coach. I know vegan cyclist Tyler Pierce, when he was first starting, he had a coach for a while. And playing team sports for so long when I was growing up, I always did personal training, what'd you call it? Just like one-on-one lessons with the coach for baseball. Because it's so, and with golf too, those are really sports where you need to have really good mechanics in everything you do, whether it's pitching or batting, and the one-on-one there is really important. And I really just grew up loving that one-on-one time. And I think delving into that and exploring that a bit more with all of you would probably be beneficial as well. Sherpa, that makes sense, honestly. I've also slowly been going up in weight as well. Not a whole lot, just a pound or two. I mean, that being said, I've had really good results from exert. That Because there's a huge reason why Adam and I got so strong over the summer. And Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but we both had huge jumps in fitness last year, and a lot of it was from the structured training. Yeah, the one-on-one mechanics is really nice. And I almost wonder if there's that mentality of when you get older, like, oh, I don't need a coach, I know everything. Oh! Maybe I'll have to message Katie, that's smart. That could be really cool. Yeah, Keith, exactly. And I think some of it too is being in these advanced races, these primetime ones at least. They're still hard. Damn, Nick, that's crazy. That's huge improvements. Oh, Adam, it's true. It's been a lot of racing. But it's weird. When we're doing those really epic events, I almost feel better than when just doing a regular regimented week on Exert. Which it almost doesn't make sense. It seems like it would be backwards. I mean, granted, towards the end of this Flamme Rouge series, that felt awful. But earlier in the year, when we were doing all that racing, I felt really good. My legs felt really, really quite good. Better than they do now. But also, the pace I don't think it's fair to compare the Flamme Rouge races to these advanced races in a lot of ways. Maybe when we were combined with the cap riders. That is a huge problem that I have with Exert 2. That's why I like the magic buckets, because you get into a freaking workout with a 90% block. I swear to God, some of the hardest, you know how in Strava when you have the relative effort, and every single workout that you have on Strava, everything's given a relative effort. Obviously, the harder it is, the higher the relative effort is for that. I can't talk right now. The harder the workout, the higher the relative effort. Some of my highest relative efforts are Exert workouts. And that's just crazy to me. You would think it would be a race, but no. There are Exert workouts that are 3 hours long, and you're like, okay, I have a high-intensity magic bucket workout, where I need 250 XSS. Let's ride for 3 hours, just hitting intervals every 30 seconds. Oh, it's crazy, but it works. It really works. You're right. I thought FRR was different this time. Just, oh man, the climbing was so brutal. It was so brutal. I was working on my video too, Adam, and it was making me feel sick. I just didn't want to relive it anymore. We got a lot of us grinding drops right now. Gotten really good at this the past few days. Engling, you're right. As you get older, you're more likely to listen to coaches. It's true. Well, I'm not sure if I will make a video off of this. I think I might, it's good practice. Struggle with the climber hard effort at the end of the race. suggest like doing 2-3 hours on 2. That's a good point, Nick. I actually felt pretty darn good for the climb today. I think I need to do more work on my 5-minute efforts. What was our 5-minute effort today? Let's check. I think it was even less. Though both of those climbs today, 2 to 3 minute efforts minus the bypass. Actually, I want to check this one more time. Yeah, 5-minute effort was down. 1 minute was pretty high. 10-minute was good. 20-minute was good. I think it's still working on those probably 3 to 5 minute efforts. Definitely need to improve on that with the way the front group rode. Obviously, they all rode away on the 20-minute efforts too. We just need to get better. Cheers, Adam. Maybe I'll put some of that stuff into ChatGPT too. Well, I should probably get back to work too. This was an hour-and-a-half lunch, plus my warm-up. So, I can't be gone all day. I really do appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been a really fun Zwift game series. I'll try, if we do the TTT on Thursday, I'll try and stream that as well. Also, what else we got going on? We'll try and get some RTB group rides. We'll throw that in there. If you haven't joined the club, you're more than welcome. We have a Discord as well. And it's actually a really active Discord. There's a lot of people in it, and they're far more active than me. So if you ever have questions, it's a great safe space to really approach the community and get good advice from some really smart, awesome people. Other than that, that's all I got. I'm gonna go stretch out my legs and eat lunch and go back to work. As always, whoa, stay strong, baby. Woo! Let's check if we gained any points, because last time we lost a single point. Last time we lost a point, and I really hope we didn't lose one today. And ride, let's take some pictures. I'm impressed, a 10-minute and an hour PB. That is truly a sight to behold. We rode hard. What a crazy bunch. That could be the last time. I will be curious if primetime continues to be what it is, or if it starts to really peter out now. 58 minutes, that's a good race. Make sure that, oh yeah, we gained a point. Make sure that when you do this, you fuel. I did a carb mix with 90 grams of carbs, and I had a lot of electrolytes too. I had my own little mix that I put in there. Really important that you fuel for something like this. Otherwise, you'll get to the grade and completely bonk. Cheers, all. I will see you very soon. Cheers. How many times can I say cheers? Goodbye.